Good afternoon and welcome. This is Nationwide and we are live in Abuja. I'm Hawa Salihu Adaman. We are starting on a very exciting note today for Nigeria's oil and gas industry as the Senate has passed the Petroleum Industry Bill. When signed into law, the Senate says it will reflect the submissions of over 58 stakeholders in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. This was the position of the legislators as they considered the report of the Senate Joint Committee on Petroleum Industry Bill. They are optimistic that the bill, made up of 5 chapters, governance and institutions, administration, host community development, fiscal framework and miscellaneous provisions, will bring the longer-awaited change in the oil and gas sector. The proposed law also seeks, among other things, 30% for the funding of exploration of frontier basins, 3% for the development of host communities and the making of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation more viable and a commercial entity.
The Nigerian people. This gas flaring is making people sick. It is damaging the environment. The remediation we seek is not construction of pipelines. It's not construction of gas infrastructure. We want that money to be used to ameliorate the condition. And we understand, Mr. President, this is not a permanent thing. In fact, the goal is to make sure there's no gas flaring at some point.
The Senate had met with the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Group Managing Director of the NNPC in closed door before the consideration. Similarly, the House of Representatives has considered and approved the Petroleum Industry and Governance Bill, described by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, as a landmark legislation. The document, which has 318 sections, contains wide-ranging legal provisions, key among which is the unbundling of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to become a commercial and limited liability company. Other provisions are making the oil and gas sector more competitive to attract more investment, as well as creation of an exploration fund to further push prospecting activities in several other areas. To other matters now, the federal government has commended the professionalism with which the Nigerian security synergized with their foreign counterparts to arrest the acclaimed leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, and his repatriation to Nigeria to resume his trial. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said these at a media briefing in Abuja. Anthony Forsen completes the report.
Nnamdi Kanu is facing an 11-count charge of treasonable felony, terrorism and illegal possession of firearms, among others. But he jumped bail in 2017 and left the country. On Tuesday, after he was rearrested, he was arraigned in court and ordered to be remanded in the custody of the DSS, while the case has been adjourned till July 26th and 27th.
It will interest Nigerians to know that for over 2 years, our security and intelligence agencies were on the trail of the proscribed IPOB leader as he lived a 5-star life across several countries, traveling on chartered private jets, living in luxurious apartments, and turning out in designer clothes and shoes.
Lai Mohammed added that forensic investigation carried out has revealed very important and useful information.
While the investigation continues, we assure you that none of the collaborators, irrespective of their standing in the society, they will all face the full wrath of the law for their activities that challenge our nation's sovereignty and threatens its unity.
On calls for Kanu to have a fair trial, Lai Mohammed has this to say.
Many are suddenly calling for a fair trial for Kanu, as if he didn't get one before. He decided to jump bail and flee. However, I can assure you that the fair deal that Kanu denied many of the victims of the violence which he willfully instigated through his broadcasts and tweets will not be denied him.
The minister maintained that the rearrest was made possible by diligent efforts of Nigerian security and intelligence agencies in collaboration with countries Nigeria has obligations with. In Abuja, Anthony Fosun, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo is in Jigawa on a one-day official visit. While in the state, the Vice President will launch the Small and Medium Enterprise Clinic and an economic empowerment program of the state government. The Vice President will also inaugurate the Shuari to Kwanan Huguma through Dutse Dual Carriage Road project executed by the federal government. The Vice President and his delegation were received by the host governor, Mohamed Badaru Abubakar. The Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, has reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's poise to continue to work for the progress of the country with a quest to build stronger democratic institutions and culture that drives development. Adesina, speaking while receiving an award from the Progressive Councillors Forum Thursday, shows that the administration also welcomes partnerships that will propagate the policies and action of President Buhari's government, especially in communities. Presenting the award title, Warrior of Truth and Tangible Development, to Mr. Adesina, the chairman of the PCF says the decision to recognize his efforts in ensuring effective communication was collective, adding that the organization will continue to support the work of the administration. The chairman of the PCF also praised the presidential spokesman for always standing for the truth, adding that most of his sacrifices and dedication to informing people on what is right and fair will be appreciated by many, while others will be more candid in assessment after he has left office. And it's time to join Michael in our Lagos Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. It's over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Hawa. Lagos State House of Assembly is working on a bill to criminalize trading in human organs by residents in any part of the state. Musa Tolat reports that the bill, which has scaled the second reading, prescribes 10 years jail term without an option of fine for perpetrators.
The move by the Lagos State House of Assembly to criminalize trading in human organs may not be unconnected with the spate of incidents involving human organ harvest in some part of the metropolis. Clause 33 of the bill, which has scaled the second reading, stipulates that any person who removes the organs of another person for a reason other than therapeutic purposes has committed an offense punishable under the law.
Part 2 of the bill also talk about the creation of department for the purpose of organ harvest and transplants in the Ministry of Health.
The bill will not only help in putting a stop to organ trafficking for monetary gains, it will also protect minors and the mentally ill whose organs should not be harvested without the consent of their next of kin.
Where it is not only the hospitals that are regulated, the medical practitioner that will operate in the hospital are also regulated, to be sure that organ harvest and transplantation is not all commerce affair.
You even talk about certification permit, that those hospitals given certificate permit must ensure that they keep to those requirements, otherwise it is revoked.
Speaker, Lagos House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, said that the bill is the best thing that would happen to the state, adding that it would help those with terminal organ failure to live, as there would be certified organ transplant for them.
If there's a provision for those who involve, in human body parts, limbs, and all sorts that we consider to be ritually, so we can use the bill to criminalize such actions.
The bill was, however, committed to the House Committee on Health Services for public hearing and to report back to the Assembly in 2 weeks. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Drug abuse has sadly become social and security concerns, judging by recent events. Adeni Taiwo reports that experts are calling for deliberate social reorientation and youth engagement that can address youth vulnerability to drugs.
Crime is not evenly distributed.
Same for drug abuse and its ability to blur the lines between reality and illusion, sanity and depravity. Out of the 14.3 million Nigerians who are into illicit use of drugs, 77%, constituting about 10.6 million, abuse cannabis. Out of this figure, Lagos State and Southwest Nigeria have 22.4% burden.
There is no area of Lagos that does not have a drug joint.
The nation's commercial capital is also a staging area for growing crimes such as rape, armed robbery, traffic robbery, cultism, and of late, drug-induced murder. Any doubt about the link between drug abuse and crime is wiped away by the open confession of Chidinma Ojukwu, a 21-year-old undergraduate who blamed the influence of hard drug for the murder of Super TV Chief Executive Officer Michael Yusufu Ataga.
We ordered for smoke and also roofies together, so that's what we took.
While such drugs, as mentioned by Chidinma, may be too expensive and beyond the reach of many addicts, other variants with equal devastating effects, including codeine, diazepam, and tramadol, are in circulation, ruining lives.
It's a social menace that we need to curb because we know that generally drug abuse, drug misuse have bad influence on individuals who administer these to themselves.
Experts are indeed worried about the growing influence of substance abuse as a factor of insecurity in the country.
We have seen, we have recorded many cases that were actually triggered by drug misuse or drug abuse.
What are the socializing agents in the society? The parents, the peers, the school, the whole community. This area also needs a lot of programs. Parenting programs are key. There's life skill training for peers.
These experts believe that members of the society must join the campaign by being vigilant and promoting values that can serve as incentives against drug abuse. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Time now for some messages. The news continues shortly. Please stay.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's nationwide. To security matters now, as 55 victims of abduction have reportedly escaped from the camp of their abductors. How and where? Let's hear from our defense correspondent, Ismail Musa.
This is the periodic news conference of the armed forces, focusing on military operations between the 18th and 30th June 2021.
Now, Operation Milestone.
This briefing highlights intensified armed forces operations that eliminated 73 terrorists and led to the escape of victims of abduction.
A total of 55 escapees from terrorist camps, comprising of 15 adult males, 12 adult females, and 27 children, surrendered to own troops at Dara Jamel in Borno State. On 27th of June 2021, the air component of Operation Haginkai, in coordinated multiple airstrikes, destroyed some terrorist commanders' strongholds at the Lake Chad axis of Borno State.
Similarly, land, air and sea military operations, the Director of Media Operations says, have been upscaled, leading to the destruction of several criminal camps, elimination of scores of terrorists and bandits, while the nation's maritime domain was checked. From the defense headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 2 more students of the Salihu Tanko Islamia School, Tegina, who were abducted over a month ago, have escaped from captivity. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo from Tegina reports that the inhabitants of the town are currently living in constant fear, appealing to government to dispatch security personnel to areas as many are fleeing the town for fear of the unknown.
Tegina, a transit town which was before now a beehive of activities, is now wearing a solemn look, with most of the shops closed for commercial activities, as people of the area are living in constant fear due to rumor of another attack by bandits. Most of the adjoining houses around Saliu Tanko Islamia School were also under lock and key, as residents reportedly deserted their place of abode for the fear of unknown.
The situation in our area is a situation of despair. People first are afraid, people feel abandoned, people feel insecure. In fact, the community is like empty, it's like a ghost town. Most people are leaving because they don't know when these bandits will come back again.
Particularly this area where the kidnap happened, if you go back here, you will not find any inhabitants there.
Ibrahim Jibrin, a student of GSS Tegna, was among the few residents roaming around the area who says his father have him withdrawn from school for fear of being abducted.
My father did not take him to go back because I was living only their house. I want to go the school. I'm not go back again this one.
Meanwhile, the proprietor of the Saliu Tanko Islamia Tegna, Idris Umar, gave a true perspective on the 15 returnees that were earlier reported to have escaped from the kidnappers' den.
Only 3 are staff of the school out of the 15. The other one were all carried along the same day while moving into the bush. So they are the ones because they were all confined to one place together where they kept them.
The jarring news, however, is that he confirms the recent return of 2 more students, even though he says one is yet to be identified.
2 of them returned, yes, but one of them were yet to identify who our parents are. But she doesn't know us, we know the headmaster, the other teachers. So we suspect that she will be one of the students that just resumed that day as a pupil of the school. But now she's under treatment. Once she's fully recovered, we'll be able to identify who she is.
The people are also appealing to government at all levels to step up security of lives and property in the area. From Tegina, a Rafi local government area of Niger State, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Protesters from some communities in Bungudu and Maru local government areas of Zamfara State have barricaded the Gusau-Sokoto Road to purportedly express grievances over the incessant armed bandit attacks on their communities. The protest, which turned violent, has brought transportation on the ever-busy highway to a standstill. The protesters, mostly from Keku-Nwaje community in Bungudu local government area of the state, keep chanting, "Enough is enough," regretting that armed bandits frequently attack their villages, resulting to loss of lives and wanton destruction of property of innocent persons. They advocate the immediate deployment of the military in the area, as well as a system that guarantees quick response to distress called by the security personnel. As of the time of filing this report, motorists along the Gusau-Sokoto highway were held in a heavy traffic as the road remains blocked by the protesters who vow not to leave until the demands are met by the government. Efforts by NTA News to speak with the Zamfara State Police Command or any other relevant authority on the matter was unsuccessful, even as security personnel were cited at the scene battling with the situation. This is coming barely 1 week after some villagers from a number of communities in Bungudu local government area of the state staged similar protests and blocked the highway for more than 12 hours. A new security strategy has been developed by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to ward off bandits and other criminal elements from entering Kogi State. Francis Udojo reports that the Corps has inaugurated a rapid response squad to promote the Safe School initiative and tackle threats to security in the state.
The Rapid Response Squad, 70 in number, is an initiative of the federal government through the Commandant General of the NSCDC to complement the existing security structure within the organization. After 6 months, multidimensional training to tackle natural and man-made disasters and various security emergency situations, the Corps is ready to take up the task of supporting other security agencies to fight criminals.
We place serious considerations on the physical fitness, mental fitness, and of course, behavioral considerations. This gave us the ability to carefully select and absorb and form the squad.
We want to assure the public that we will leave no stone unturned, that we will be in all the nooks and crannies of the state.
Rather than even responding, we try to put an end to it.
Commander Omodara retired promised government support while calling on the federal government to also assist the state with security apparatus, considering the geographical location of the state. In Lokoja, Francis Sudojo, NTA News.
To politics now, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in Anambra State has produced a former special advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan on technical matters, Akachukwu Sullivan Nwakpo, as its party's candidate in the November 6 governorship election. Over now to Joy Ilebu for more.
Over 700 eligible delegates of the party from the 21 local government areas of the state converged on Awka for the African Democratic Congress ADC primary with a mission to elect a candidate for the November 6 governorship election. After accreditation and subsequent election through voice affirmation, Chairman of the African Democratic Congress Anambra Governorship Electoral Committee, Chief Anayo Arinze, announced Nze Akachukwu Sullivan Nwakpo as winner of the election.
All those who want Israel, Akachukwu Sullivan Nwakpo, to represent FDC and carry our flag for the governorship election in Anambra 2021.
Work with the state to make sure that the provision of employment, of business support, of whatever that is needed by parents so that they can use their talents.
National chairman of the party, Chief Raf Okenwosu, congratulated the winner and pointed out that the Anambra State governorship election coming up in November will lay foundation for democratic governance in the state. In Awka, Joy Ilebu, NTA News.
Next in line is Abubakar in our Maiduguri Network Center with more reports on Nationwide. It's over to you.
It's always nice to see you, Hawa. Good afternoon. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, has assured victims of insurgency of federal government's commitment in finding durable solution to their needs. She made this assertion while interacting with IDPs at El Miskin and Muhammadu Buhari camps in Maiduguri. Yagum Subukar has more details.
El Miskin and Muhammadu Buhari IDPs camps are among the various camps in Maiduguri, the state capital, hosting displaced persons ravaged as a result of Boko Haram insurgency. Over 450 households benefited from distribution of food and non-food items during the federal commissioner's visit. The event also accorded the IDPs opportunity to rub minds with the commissioner, where she emphasized on government's need to provide livelihood support until peace finally returns to the region.
I would like to assure the IDPs and all persons of concern that they are a priority to Mr. President. They are a priority to our ministry. We will continue to strive to ensure that we provide the right kind of solutions and to also, like I said, address the root causes so that we don't find ourselves in this situation again in the future.
The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons and management of her team were at the State Deputy Governor's office, where she assured that the Commission will continue to explore ways of supporting people of concerns in Nigeria, particularly IDPs in Borno State. The State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur promised to partner the Commission in executing its mandate in the state. The entourage was also at the show of Borno's palace to seek fatherly blessings, where the Shehu Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbe Al-Amin Al-Kanemi assured of the Emirates' support at all times. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
Let's talk security now. Borno State Police Command has arrested suspected criminals who specialize in trailing and stealing from bank customers, robbing POS operators at gunpoint, and drug dealers. Police Public Relations Officer Superintendent Edet Okon paraded the suspects that were part of criminal gangs that terrorized the already traumatized residents of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, in recent times and recovered about 30 million naira cash. Memuna Garba completes the story.
Following incessant criminal activities in Maiduguri, the state capital, Borno State Police Command launched a serious manhunt for criminals to curb their atrocities, which led to the arrest of one Agachuku Emmanuel and some accomplices who robbed a POS operator at Circular Road of the sum of 2,500,000 naira and recovered one Black Golf saloon vehicle as well as 2 POS machines and other accessories. According to the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Edet Okon, operatives of the command in an intelligence-driven operation also arrested 5 persons who specialized in trailing unsuspecting citizens, especially those coming out from banks, break into their cars and steal monies kept in the vehicles.
Suspects on interrogation confessed to stealing 23 million naira from a vehicle parked inside Musa Usman Secretariat and another 2,500,000 naira from a vehicle belonging to one Aliyu Ali at a mosque here in Medina.
PPRO further disclosed that the security personnel have recovered 5 assorted motor vehicles, 6 fabricated duplicate car keys, corrosive chemical substances used in breaking vehicle glasses, and 14,500,000 naira. Other suspects paraded were drug dealers. 2
suspects, Malam Mati and Abba Ibrahim, were arrested at Jajeri Ward, Maiduguri, while in possession of about 1,005 kilograms of dried leaves, suspected to be cannabis sativa, with an estimated worth of 3,500,000 naira.
SP Edet Okon said all the suspects will be charged to court at the conclusion of investigations. In Maiduguri, Memuna Garba, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories at this time from Maiduguri. Let's now return to Hawa in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide. Hawa.
Very well, Abubakar. Thank you so much. Moving on, food scarcity may be looming in the country if the federal government does not find a lasting solution to the recurring issue of farmer headers crisis. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, who joined all the guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria to discuss the role of states in boosting agriculture, reiterated that the state is working on the concept of ranching. Ekemini Williams reports that the guests also stressed that mechanized farming should be given more priority.
Effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, rising insecurity and climate change, experts say, may lead to a decline in agricultural output in Nigeria. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje joined other guests from Akure and Enugu virtually to discuss how states can help food production in the country.
Kano State government has made it a policy to synergize with the farmers all the time to ensure that all federal government policies are being connected, and we provide an enabling environment for the farmers.
Our interest actually is in providing support, assistance to farmers. The farmers are located in the area councils, the rural areas. So what we do in FCT is to bring the farmers together to form cooperatives so that we can reach them.
They stressed the need for farming mechanization and suggested ways the farmer header crisis as well as banditry can be contained.
The states to provide enabling environment for states to mechanize, for states to process and package for export.
With government creating enabling environment that will ensure sustainability.
In all, they commended the present administration's commitments to diversifying the nation's economy through agriculture and enjoined all to key into the initiative. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
And the All Progressives Congress Legacy Awareness Campaign Group says the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration is moving Nigeria steadily towards self-sufficiency in food production in a way that has never been witnessed since independence. The group, in a statement jointly signed by its coordinators, Ismail Ahmed, Youth Leader, APC Caretaker Committee, Salihu Muhammad Lukman, the Director General of the APC Governors Forum, commended the administration of President Buhari for the country's steady progress in its effort at repositioning agriculture as the fulcrum of the country's economic development. The APC Legacy Group notes that since 2015, when the Buhari administration took over, it has put no one in doubt of its determination to transform the agricultural sector as a major pillar of the country's economy and a bold statement on its determined efforts at diversification. It adds that the Buhari agricultural revolution was underscored by several critical policies for the enhancement of growth and development. The statement added that some policies, such as the inauguration of the National Food Security Council, Agriculture for Food and Jobs Plan, National Livestock Transformation Plan, the Anchor Boroughs Program, and the National Fertilizer Initiative are programs that clearly show that Nigeria's journey towards prosperity is steady. Governor Samuel Otom has declared that Benue has land for anyone who agrees to ranch cattle. The governor said this in Makurdi, the Benue state capital. Over now to Charles Abba.
Benue State Governor Samuel Otom stated that government has not reviewed or abolished the open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law 2017 of the state. He made the remark in response to insinuations in the media that the state had reviewed its position against open grazing. He said the statement credited to his Education Commissioner, Professor Dennis Itiabia, that there is land for ranching is true.
We must ranch our cattle, and that is what we say. Whether you're a Fulani man, Hausa man, Igbo, or Yoruba man, if you want to do ranching, we have land for you. Come and apply. We'll give you that land on lease. That is what our law says.
The governor also refuted knowledge of the state government's involvement in any peace pact with the leadership of Mieti Allah, as reported in the media. But that even if the alleged peace negotiation is true, it has not been brought to his knowledge. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Residents of flood-prone areas in Ogun State have been advised to relocate temporarily to avert disaster. The special advisor to the state governor on environment, Ola Oresonya, gave the advice while highlighting the state government's preparedness considering the prediction of the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency. Lukman Adefeso's report is here presented.
The special advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Environment, Ola Oresonya, explained that in accordance with the prediction of the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency, Ogun State will experience flash flood between 8th and 15th of July.
September will witness the highest level of rainfall in the state. Residents of the flood-prone and wetland areas across the state are hereby advised to temporarily make provisions for safe environment to avoid severe impact of this natural event.
He added that the release of water from Oyo Dam during the predicted period will likely compound the flooding, urging residents of flood-prone areas to adhere strictly to advice. Mr. Oresonya also advised farmers around the wetlands and riverbank areas to complete their harvesting before the period to avert losses and highlighted state government efforts to mitigate flood disaster in the state.
And in a similar vein, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has presented to the public a document on disaster risk management, implications of 2021 and seasonal climate predictions, as well as annual outlook as part of deliberate efforts to holistically manage the emerging disaster that may occur. The Director General of the agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, who presented the document, promised to change the narrative of disaster management for good. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu has more.
Every year, flood comes with its peculiarity, and as such, the dynamics of the approach by the National Emergency Management Agency is usually set in motion. The 2021 flood outlook, as released by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, indicate that 121 local government areas in 27 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are expected to experience high probability of flood risks, while 302 local government areas will experience moderate risks, and the remaining 351 local government areas are expected to fall within the low probable risk areas. These working documents, as presented by the NEMA DG, is a documented guidance strategies towards managing flood in 2021.
The document contains recommendations aimed at guiding decision makers at national, state, and local government, as well as community levels, to avert adverse consequences, mitigate disaster risk, safeguard food security, and to climate-proof national development of Nigeria.
So this collaborative effort between the two agencies is quite commendable.
The release of the 2021 Disaster Risk Management Implementation Report marks the beginning of a series of events throughout the rainy season, including emergency coordination meetings to review response and mitigation strategies. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyaku, NTA News.
And Chinenye is on standby in Enugu to give us details of some developmental projects by the state government. Hello, Chinenye.
Hello, Hawa. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. The Enugu state government has commenced the construction of quality and affordable houses for civil servants in the state. Chika Ugwu reports that the governor, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, who took a tour around the city, expressed satisfaction with the pace of work at the Coal City Satellite Estate.
The Coal City View Satellite Estate, comprising 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms flats, respectively, are parts of measures by the state government to meet the housing needs of civil servants in the state, especially low-income earners. It has affordable accommodations with flexible payment plan that will give subscribers the luxury of paying without much ado.
Yeah, we're actually going to profile them. After profiling them, we'll know how many years they have left in service, how old are they, how much do they earn, and all that. All those will determine their repayment plan.
The properly planned estate with provisions for recreational facilities, hospital, school, and commercial centers is adequately funded.
Our role has been to demonstrate that it is possible to do quality mass housing in Nigeria.
It's a project that was properly planned right from the housing corporation through the contractors and our other partners, the developers.
For the governor, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, who took a tour around the site, the scheme is a positive intervention to resolve housing problems and improve the well-being of the eventual owners of the various apartments. In Enugu, Chika Ugwu, NTA News.
While the Enugu state government strives to create an enabling environment for investments in the state, it appreciates the vital role of the Investments and Securities Tribunal in adjudicating cases involving investors and capital market operators. Deputy Governor Cecilia Ezile stated this during an interaction with a team from the tribunal in Enugu. Susan Eze has the details.
Playing by the rules is very vital in stock market investments to ensure smooth transactions between investors, capital market operators, and regulators. Where disputes arise, the Investments and Securities Tribunal has the sole jurisdiction to ensure impartial settlement of such disputes. This role, according to the Enugu State Governor, who was represented by the deputy, is very fundamental in the growth and development of the nation's financial market and ultimately the economy. Enugu State, she said, is committed to creating a viable environment for investors, hence is ready to render all necessary support to the tribunal for its effective service delivery in the zone.
I wish to use this opportunity to commend the authors of the Investment and Security Act and the pioneers of the Nigeria capital market who foresaw the need for a judicial dispute resolution mechanism within the system and decided to create the Investment Security Tribunal.
Noting that the capital market is an important component in the global economy, Chairman, Investments and Securities Tribunal, Amos Isaac Azi, stated that the tribunal is working hard to bring sanity and confidence to the investment market in Nigeria. The team was in Enugu for the second quarter 2021 meeting of the tribunal board. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Hawa, it's back to you in Abuja.
Sure, Chineye. 50 years of diplomatic ties between China and Nigeria has been described as a relationship with sweet memories. This was demonstrated at a celebration which climaxed with an award ceremony for the China-Africa TV quiz contest. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports. I understand the report will come subsequently. Meanwhile, let's take some messages. Thanks for rejoining us. It's still nationwide, and we are now back to the 50 years of diplomatic ties between Nigeria and China.
Culture, a common currency and unifying factor between the two countries. Interventions in rail transportation, education, entertainment, as well as the partnership between the NTA and China bond the two countries more.
The partnership between the Chinese Embassy of Nigeria, Star Times Nigeria, and NTA, therefore, has been not only mutually productive, but has indeed blossomed into an enviable status.
And it is also of significant meaning to carry this good relationship forward and even to a higher level.
No matter how far we have traveled, we must never forget where we started.
The 50 years anniversary took off with an educational TV quiz competition, testing participants on their strength of history of the two countries.
And I welcome a competition like this because it gives us the opportunity to look inwards and tap into the knowledge from our educational sector.
The event is hosted by the China Cultural Center to commemorate 50 years of Nigeria-China's bilateral relation and 100 years anniversary of the Communist Party, a foremost political organization in the world. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
And it is the wish of every senior citizen to enjoy life after retirement and live a healthy life. Ensuring that this comes true informed the establishment of the Contributory Pensioners Union of Nigeria. 1 year on, Ekene Ndulue in this next report brings us the scorecard of the group.
When the Contributory Pension Scheme was introduced in 2004, it came with some issues affecting well-being of contributory pensioners, which include delay in payment of pensions. To tackle this challenge, a group of pensioners began the rigorous process of forming a union in 2012. And in 2020, 8 years later, a new trade union was born with approval from appropriate authorities. As they mark 1 year anniversary, the executives of the union speak on what has been their driving force.
When people retire, they don't know where to go. NUP, the old pension, said they were not paying check-off dues. They have no answer to their problem.
Now, when we came in, we discovered that there were delays, maybe unintentional, and we went into it to find out why the delays.
As we are going now with this union, we are trying our best to make sure that people receive their pension as at when due.
Expectedly, it has not been all rosy for the new trade union, as non-remittance of check-off dues by pension fund administrators remains part of the teething problems.
I'm asking for prompt
without payment of government's own contribution to the fund.
As the union proudly presents its certificate of registration, they urged other retirees to register with them to enjoy benefits of collective bargaining. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
It has been noted that academics shoulder the responsibility of promoting and instilling moral values in people through the works that help shape and drive the country on the path of honor and tranquility. This is true of 3 books authored by the Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, which were unveiled for public knowledge recently.
What is the future of Africa? What is the future of our communities? Especially what is going on today. How do we define for a young person value?
We thank God that we've all come to this level, not only of age, but also to celebrate one of us again, who has consistently demonstrated great capacities in not only developing the academic world, but also in helping to drive the society.
The books explain how people's culture and traditions are leveraged to promote values in the society. The contributions of the media towards the promotion of quality education, especially for the girl child, is critical even as nations across the globe grapple with the containment of COVID-19 and insecurity. These are the fallouts of a review meeting put together by Civil Society Action Coalition on Education for All. Haman Jabani completes the report.
Civil Society Action Coalition on Education for All, SECEFA, is a coalition of civil society organizations committed in shaping education policies and programs in Nigeria to mobilize and positively influence actions by various education stakeholders in the country, as well as providing a platform for monitoring, evaluating, and reviewing various education programs and interventions. It also seeks to enable effective platform for information sharing. In a bid to achieve all this, the media executives and partners review meeting becomes necessary.
How we can come up together, synergize together, and ensure that our children have access to good, quality, safe, and all-inclusive education, at least for their first 14 years on this planet Earth.
To build capacity of CSOs and media on advocacy and social accountability. To mobilize community, build their capacity on monitoring of UBE fund.
Media chiefs and partners commended SECEFA for its doggedness while pledging more collaboration in the area of coverage and advocacy.
The media that I know is not everything is not about money. You get so much achievement through relationship. The use of press statement gives you more visibility.
They are all unanimous in supporting efforts to ensure security in schools for better teaching and learning environment and making education affordable and accessible at all levels. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
Many believe that Nigeria's most important resource is its teeming youth. Harnessing their huge potential and instilling patriotic and productive zeal in them, as a campaign the National Orientation Agency has taken to schools in the FCT to build character in young leaders. Kenneth Nanim has the report.
With high level of moral decadence being experienced in the society, the National Orientation Agency is kept on its toes to provide proper and adequate public education, enlightenment and reorientation required by young people to eschew prevailing social vices that corrupt good behaviors amongst citizens.
The conversation around the importance of integrity should start at this level. And the federal government, through the Ministry of Information, had directed the National Orientation Agency to see to the establishment of integrity clubs in all the schools around the country.
The message here is for students to steer clear of all forms of drug abuse, cultism, and other social vices.
Acts of terrorism, kidnapping, rape, and every vice is associated with drugs.
Now they are having a kind of self-defense, refusal skills, critical thinking skills, decision-making skills.
There was also a session for self-examination for early detection of breast cancer and other ailments reproductive health, personal hygiene and sanitation, as well as rights of persons living with disabilities.
It has re-evaluated us, like oriented us on the values of the society.
It has also helped me to also know the rights a disabled person has in our country, in our school, and everywhere we go to.
The agency is optimistic that a sustained advocacy on behavioral change such as this will achieve the desired result. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army says it is determined to deliver on its professional mandate and pay the supreme price, as experienced in the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Atahiru Ibrahim, and 10 others who died in active service tackling insecurity. The Chief of the Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, said this shortly after the 40-day prayers in honor of the late Army Chief and 10 other military officers who died in the Kaduna plane crash. He used the occasion to pray for the repose of their souls and for the peace, unity and stability of Nigeria.
It's a solemn event to pray for the repose of their souls and to also show that we are still with them, they are still in our minds, and we are also with the families of the bereaved, of the Chief of Army Staff and 10 others, and indeed all others also who pay the supreme price.
We also pray for our troops deployed in various theater of operations, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to grant them victory over their enemies and the enemy of this country and our enemy.
The 40-day prayer is a recommended Islamic practice for the dead. Top military officers, Islamic clerics and relatives of the fallen heroes were in attendance. And that's Nationwide today. We thank you very much for watching. But remember to connect with us here at the NTA as we fight against rape and rapists. Also remember, COVID-19 is still very much around. Thanks for watching. Good evening.